5 years ago, we all got together and planted seeds in the ground in the hopes of cleaner air and a better life. And out over those years sprouted HowDoWeHuman. It's what we're doing. Welcome to it. Welcome to HowDoWeHuman. It's the podcast where we overanalyze all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox.
And I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
And today we're talking about this because we're talking about a serious topic. We're talking about the environment. We should do an episode where Chris and Evan go NPR. We need to just do a full NPR episode.
A full NPR
It's not
episode?
this one.
It's too late.
Jostled this up too much already.
Yeah,
with
I haven't
my giggles.
had time to prepare my character.
Yes. But how do we HDW do NPR? That's pretty
You missed one of our letters, unfortunately.
HDWH. Chris?
Yes.
How you doing?
You're doing all right. Look, this is I was going to tell this story
Oh my God.
early last episode.
That's
and then
right.
I was going to do it later last episode. And now, even though it's not the most interesting thing that I have to share, I have to do it now.
It's got to come out.
Yeah, so as listeners of the podcast may remember, as a few weeks ago, my wife and I got married and then went on our honeymoon.
This is true.
And then we got all our photos back. And we talked last episode a little bit about being photographed.
Mhm.
But what we didn't quite get around to was needing to, and needing is in quotation marks, I guess, but wanting to share those photos with the world, because then people click like, and then we get the happy chemicals in our brains
The happy pump.
that say we must have done something incredible
Mm.
and must be
Worth
worthy members of society. So I'm getting ready to post some, and it gets to be caption time.
Oh boy, my favorite time.
And I used to really enjoy coming up with a funny little caption for social media posts. But since I haven't posted much on social media in the last year or more, I really found myself struggling with what would be something funny, and do I even enjoy this anymore?
Yeah.
It was a real, in a positive way, because we've talked so much about how using a lot of social media is bad.
Yeah.
It was positive in the sense of I guess it's worked, that now I don't my weaning myself off of it has worked in a way where now that I'm back, I'm not let's
Gotta
go.
do it.
I've been saving great captions for a long time.
Yeah.
It was more of I guess this will have to do, and then send it out there, and then sure, people click the little heart button, and then I feel happy. That part still is there, but the enjoyment I get from crafting a clever caption is gone.
I think it died with Twitter. That was the place where writing a small little funny thing felt so satisfying. I could convince myself to be satisfied when nobody liked what I said. And often nobody liked what I said.
Yeah.
But it made me laugh, and it was out in the world, and that felt good. I don't care anymore.
I do think that I couldn't quite convince myself to be satisfied when nobody liked my tweets, because I was this is good stuff, and I see what you're liking, and you're liking bad stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stoop down to those levels.
No.
I'm just going to be upset until Paul F. Tompkins says he's leaving, and then I will leave.
That'll do her.
Which was many years of dissatisfied Twitter use.
Yeah.
And Certainly even that level of misery is better than current X.com use. Evan,
Yeah.
how you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's got me thinking of, like, I know we did an episode on social media, but, like, specifically what they call, oh, now I'm going to fuck up the terminology, later gramming?
Okay.
It's an old term, so I'm fucking up my people's terminology. No, I think it is younger than me. Anyways, but just the idea of, like, because that's where I'm at. I'm with you. Like, at least you posting those, it's like, this is a thing this is current. This just happened. I
Sure.
got so many fucking things that have happened, and I have great photos from them. I have such good photos just waiting. I'm like, what am I going to do? I could make like 10 posts today of good photos from great events that happened, because I don't do it anymore. I don't know. A lot of stress around that, and I think about it way more often than I should. Now, is that what I'm here to talk about? Of course not.
Well, I do want to cut in real quick and
Please
say
do.
that I've seen people do this, which is just like
I think I know what you're
photo dump
saying.
or like
Yeah.
things, what I've been up to lately, and then they just dump a bunch of the photos that they just have sitting on their phone and taking up their mental space, and then they
Here's
just get them out there
my
all at once.
I think in the way you cared about tweets getting attention, I want these photos to get attention. I've never liked doing
Sure.
a carousel. Sure, people will see it more often and eventually will get fed each photo, but I don't know which photo they're liking.
Mm.
That's important to me. Did you like
That
that
okay,
photo?
that's interesting.
Did you like that photo?
Because I would have thought like the um the benefit to doing it that way would be
Get it all.
you get it all out there. You maximize the chances that somebody seeing it is going to like one of those photos and therefore rack up um a higher cumulative
Body count.
enjoyment. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'll think about it. Maybe I'll do a dump. I love a good dump.
Yeah.
And it just feels like mine would have to be like, here's 10 photos from over the last 4 years.
That's a good caption.
That's good. Here's what I'm here to talk about, though.
Great.
The other day, Jocelyn and I had a little day. We went out. And when you're up here and you're going out, you go down the mountain. You got to find some stuff down there to do and then come back. So we're down there. And when you're just having a normal day, going out, having some food, you're coming back, you're not in a rush. We stopped at Target. We had a great date night of Mexican food in Target. Who could be mad at that? And we saw her horse. Good day all around. Now the
Just
sun
walking around a Target.
Yeah. Now the sun has gone down. And we're like, time to get back on the road. Let's go up the mountain. And we get, so there, because you drove up this thing, there are 2 ways up this mountain, 2 different highways, the 18 and the 330. So we're going up 330. We get 75% the way up to our home, and traffic stops completely. And there's a fire truck up here. And it's like something just happened. Actually, the fire truck was behind us. So the fire truck pulled in front of us and stopped right there. We were, I think, 5 cars back from whatever happened.
Okay.
And we're like, oh, shit. All right, well, this might be a minute, But no one's coming out. There's no, like, traffic person stopping. I have to assume the first person was stopped by someone. But they're not there anymore. No one is communicating with the drivers. We're just kind of sitting in the car, waiting to see what happens. Slowly we hear someone, or I look up like the police blotter
Mm-hmm.
and find that it sounds like a drunk driver swerving with a trailer behind them, went off the edge, broke through the guardrail, and their car was down there. It sounded like one person died, and they were working. Fire department was working on getting everyone else out of the car. So they're like down a cliff.
Okay.
Big, big project.
Yeah.
Gonna take a while. Some guy comes over, talks to the front driver, and after a minute, the front driver turns around, leaves. There's a little turnout up here. The driver behind him turns around, leaves. So we're going, certainly, they just told that we're all leaving. So let's do it. We'll turn around, we'll go, we'll come back up the other highway. So now there's just 2 trucks in front of us. The only truck that can reach the turnaround is the first truck. They do not turn around.
Nice.
They decide to stop there. So it's like, do we, with our limited information, commit to like, maybe this will just be like a half hour, under an hour,
Mm-hmm.
we're fine. We're so close to home. We really don't want to have to turn around. And at this point, if we have to, we're going to have to do an uncomfortable 6-point turn between guardrails where someone already spilled off the cliff. We'll just sit. We'll sit, and eventually someone will come talk to us. Nobody ever came and talked to us. And bit by bit, people got out of their car, walked up to the accident, and found like a firefighter to talk to. And I just went, oh, okay, and then went back. We're like, oh, what did they tell them? Meanwhile, the whole time, someone is honking like once every half an hour or so, like behind
I
us.
love that.
I'm like, not helping. Not helping at all. We are there for nearly 2 hours.
Wow.
With nobody moving. Still no one has arrived to just be like, put up a cone, tell everyone, put up a sign, say what's going on. No further update. And 2 young guys in a car behind us walked up, got some information, and I just barely heard. And this is 2 hours into us sitting there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be like another 2 or 3 hours. There was no way to communicate that to at least some of us.
Right.
People had to get out of their car and walk up to ask. So yeah, at that point, as soon as we heard that, we did our uncomfortable 6-point turn and we just went down, and it was a long fucking night. But the weird part, and we got to get into this main topic.
Yeah.
The weird part, we're following this police blotter. This is a big accident. Sounds like a bad deal. As soon as the next morning, the police blotter resets for the next day, deletes all that shit, there is nothing. To this day, there's nothing. Newspapers, the internet, I find no trace of this massive accident where there was apparently a fatality. What's going on here? We got a mystery afoot up in these mountains, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it, and I'll update y'all. This is a true crime podcast now. Maybe that's our NPR angle. Do they do true crime?
I don't know.
I think they
I'm
do.
not very well versed in the world of NPR.
You know what? Neither am I. I like their tiny
How
desk.
many days ago was this? Have you checked the Citizen app?
Citizen? No, I do not have the Citizen app. I find it scary.
I mean,
but
yeah.
That's a good point. What day was that? Saturday. This past Saturday.
All right, maybe it'll be gone by now, so I'll have to give it a try here.
And again, it's like there are endless. I mean, it's a dangerous bunch of road. There are endless articles about people who have gotten in accidents and died, but they're from other years. I don't know. Was this a prominent senator?
Ooh, interesting.
Drunk on power? They killed someone. It's happened before. Ted.
Well,
Well,
the way that this app works, it might be useless to try and figure this out.
well, we tried.
We tried. We
It's
did our
been
best.
scraped from history, and I want answers.
Yeah. Looks like we got nothing.
We got nothing. Karen
But you know,
Bass. This is not even.
they unfortunately, fatality or not, they did go off the cliff and into the environment.
I'd had a thought for the same segue. Because, I don't know, we're bad people. Yes, I wanted to talk about the environment and being environmentally friendly. We're about a little more than a week, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks past Earth Day. So
Yeah.
a little late.
Little late.
Maybe
We had to talk
that for
about
next
trunk
year.
bubbles.
We have to talk
Sorry.
about, trunk bubbles instead of the
Trunk
environment.
bubbles and backboard breaking dunks.
It's good stuff. Check out the hot tubs episode. It's a good time. So the main thing, I poked at it in the intro here. I've worked for corporations for a while now. And every Earth Day, every corporation I've ever worked for is like, hey guys, you don't have the day off. But if you can get all your work done, go outside and do something.
And touch grass.
Touch grass, bitch. Well, I get the idea of touch grass, but that term always makes me think like, fuck off.
Yeah, totally.
Get out of here. Hey man, touch grass. But I've never participated, and I do care about the environment.
That's the one day you refuse to get all your work done.
One day, yes. There's a part of me that's like, is this actually helping? We always get the reports afterwards, like 3,000 of you came out and planted trees. We never get a follow-up on that. What happened to those trees?
Yeah.
Were they successfully planted? Did they get enough water in California?
Yeah, where are those articles that are like, these trees were planted 5 years ago? You won't believe what they look like now.
You won't recognize them. I'd love that. But seriously, like, where are these trees? I don't know. Have you participated in any Earth Day functions?
No, I have always worked for corporations that are like, Earth Day's just another day for cash, baby.
Yeah.
The only green we're thinking about on Earth Day is our sweet, sweet profits.
Yeah. Our greenhouse gas is the green that gases our house.
The thing that I'll see on Earth Day is like those, they're not billboards, but those like, I don't know, city boards over the freeway that they can type messages into. It'll always be like, Earth Day's coming up, think about taking public transit. I was like, well, how about you think about improving our public transit before I have to take a 2.5 hour public transit ride as opposed to my normal 45-minute commute.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that I'll come across on Earth Day, and I because of LA's poor public transit options, I can't really participate without making a major sacrifice to myself. And haven't I sacrificed enough?
Well, this is the big thing about it. And we talked a decent amount about this in the trash episode, where it's like, is recycling doing anything? Is it a hoax sort of
Is it a
situation?
hoax?
Did we make it up? And I found a nice little article on Wired, you know, with the electronics and technology.
Guess what, Evan?
Did you find the same article?
I don't know if it's the same one, but I have an article from Wired that I'd also like to touch on.
We're doing this. I wonder if they're different articles. I screenshotted
I'm
mine,
sure they
so
are.
I don't know what the title of it is or who wrote it. But it's basically talking about that, where it's like they, I guess, polled would be the word for it. They polled a lot of people about, like, what do you think is the best way you personally can help the environment? Or I think they had like a list of the top 100 ways that you can affect the environment as a human being solely, not like changing corporate structure and shit like that.
I was gonna say that's the answer.
Yeah,
That's what I'm gonna want to talk about in a second.
It ain't me, babe. But that, like, everyone ranked. Actually, I think I have it here. Most people picked recycling, followed by buying renewable energy, switching to an electric hybrid car, and opting for low energy light bulbs. When these actions were ranked by their actual impact on emissions, recycling was third from the bottom, and low energy light bulbs were last. None of the top 3 options selected by people appeared in the real top 3 when ranked by greenhouse gas reductions, which were having one fewer child. Well, no one wants to talk about that. I'm saving the world! One fewer child, not having a car, and avoiding one long distance flight.
Interesting.
Things people don't always want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's very funny to have having one fewer child on there.
It's hard to plan for.
It's very funny. In a very like dystopian
yes.
Kind of way. But there you go. That's China had their famous one-child policy, and their environment over there is famously fantastic. But yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of transportation related things I do agree are good ways to reduce things, but it does kind of segue into my Wired article, which is not the same.
Wired,
because
we salute you. This Earth Day.
I believe it was in the trash episode, because we kind of touched on this topic in general during the trash episode. And I brought up that I had seen something that was like, oh yeah, there are airlines in Europe that were just like running empty flights because they needed to keep their slots at the airport.
We said Taylor Swift should take them.
Then I never I didn't have it was just like the worst kind of news, which is like, I saw this on Instagram.
He didn't have the receipts.
Take it for the truth. But, now I have from wired.com.
Yes.
This was in 2022. Lufthansa, Germany's national airline, which is based in Frankfurt, has admitted to running 21,000 empty flights this winter.
Why?
Using its planes and those of its Belgian subsidiary, Brussels Airlines, in an attempt to keep hold of airport slots.
Oh my God.
A Greenpeace analysis indicates that if Lufthansa's practice of operating no passenger flights were replicated equally across the European aviation sector, it would mean that more than 100,000 quote-unquote ghost flights were operating in Europe this year, spitting out carbon dioxide emissions equivalent to 1.4 million gas-guzzling cars.
Wow.
So that's, even if people avoid one long distance flight,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that plane's not still going, baby.
This is the hardest thing about trying to be, and I'm not like hardcore environmentalist, but I try. I try to do my best, the little bit that I can do. But so much of it is based on, it's like, it's the same as like voting in California, a widely, at least Southern California, a widely blue state, where you go like, my vote doesn't matter, it doesn't fucking
Right.
matter. But doesn't it matter to just like participate in it? Am I doing anything? Is this helping? And that's another thing that came up. Let me see if I still have that open. Talking about eco anxiety, which I'm like, hey, that's perfect for us.
Yeah.
Just the the impending doom and
Yes.
gloom. The older I get, the more it feels like when I was a kid, and you first hear about the phrase I'm not supposed to say,
Sure. But that was the way
global
we first heard it, of
warming.
course.
Yeah, early 2000s. That's all we could talk about. The globe is warming.
Yeah.
It was an inconvenient truth.
Yeah.
Uh, and I saw An Inconvenient Truth in theaters. I was there, baby. And I was thoroughly convinced, like, we gotta do this for the future people. We gotta help the environment for the future. The future homies is what I was gonna say. We gotta help the future homies.
We
Because
gotta help the future homies.
I'm gonna be long dead by the time this has like serious health impacts on people. I no longer feel that way. I feel like it's possible that by the time I'm elderly, we might live in hell.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit of what they call eco anxiety. You been there?
Yes, I have been there. This is not very interesting, but I
Oh,
thought it might
thrilling.
be when I first looked into it. I wanted to see what came out on the same day as An Inconvenient Truth in theaters.
What else I could have seen?
Yeah, and it looks like An Inconvenient Truth released on Wednesday, and
Mm.
then on Friday. So these would have been the things competing for that
Which I
opening
definitely
weekend.
wouldn't have seen it on Wednesday. I was at school
Yeah. Your options on
that Friday.
that last weekend in May of 2006.
Okay.
An Inconvenient Truth or X-Men: The Last Stand.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
That's all
It was
that was.
it was a simpler time, Evan. There weren't 8 movies coming out every single weekend.
That's interesting. I loved that first X-Men movie. I saw neither of the other two in theaters, weirdly. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, so did not. I just saw An Inconvenient Truth. I was a thrilling theater goer.
Yeah.
More gore. And I'm not talking horror movies. Sickos.
I mean, when it comes to documentaries, you're an absolute gore whore. Is that correct?
Yeah, one could say. Yeah. I think we did
I
all the
do. Yeah, I
rhymes.
do feel that eco anxiety that you're talking about. Because it definitely felt like, we have to act now in order to help the future generations, and
Yes.
now it's like we didn't really act, so we're all
Yeah.
gonna die.
That is kind of what it feels like. Yeah, we didn't do that. The things we did, found out those were at the bottom of the list. We didn't do
Yeah,
anything else.
yeah.
And Greta Thunberg says, "How dare you?" And I asked myself
Thank
the same
you,
thing.
thank you for bringing up Greta Thunberg because I find it fascinating
Yes.
the the vitriol that
Mm-hmm.
runs through people's veins
I
when they hear
know.
her name or see her
It's
face.
wild.
I have many coworkers that are just anytime like, oh, we left the lights on. Oh, Greta's gonna be so mad at us. Or accusing her of being an actor or or whatever.
People are
It's
nuts.
insane. But it does absolutely like reiterate why we're in this mess in the first place.
Yeah.
Is because nobody can take it seriously.
No. I maybe have said this on the podcast years ago, but I've seen An Inconvenient Truth twice. Did I see the sequel?
Ooh.
No. Never.
I didn't even know there was a sequel.
There was. I feel like in the last 5 years or so.
Don't worry,
Didn't make
everybody.
the
I'm going to
same
look up what
splash.
came out the same time as the Inconvenient Truth sequel.
X-Men First Class. They're paired for
It came out in
life.
2017, okay?
Okay.
Just so you know.
Longer than I thought, but still pretty close. So, weirdly, in physics class, when I was either a junior or a senior in high school, so that would be like 2000. Well, wait, that movie came out in 2006, you said? So I was probably
The first one, yes.
senior,
Yes.
and we probably watched it the next year. Because shoot, at that time, you wouldn't have things on home video until about a year later. The good old days. So, senior year physics class, my teacher, who should not have been a physics teacher, within a week we all knew more than she did. It was a problem. But she, and that's how you end up watching videos in a physics class, like An Inconvenient Truth, which has very little to do with physics. But we watched it nonetheless. And after it was over, I was the only person in the class that admitted to believing in global warming. And the rest of the class got in a big argument about it and just talked about how much they hate Al Gore and go Bush go. And I can look back on that like, wow, look at this guy standing up for the libs everywhere. But I genuinely, like, at that time thought, like, this isn't going to be like a controversial opinion, right? Like, and the teacher literally asked, like, so who here believes in global warming? And I was the only one to raise my hand. I got no backup from the teacher. She seemed to like smile and laugh along with everyone else. Like, I think I'm in a bad place.
Yeah.
Elma, do better.
It's frustrating to, I mean, now several years after the big
Bang.
global warming phenomenon, it
Oh.
sort of switched over to climate change, and I think that
Which I only heard
it
about
was-
in an improv practice. I never heard this news. I said the word in a scene, and the scene stopped, and everyone got mad at me.
it was I think as a way to counteract people who would hear global warming and then be like, but if global warming is real, how come sometimes I get cold?
Why am I cold?
Think about that.
We changed the terminology for dummies.
Yeah.
I just remembered I also got called out a scene, an improv scene in a practice, stopped in the middle of it because I referred to an alcoholic beverage that you're not supposed to say anymore, an Irish car bomb. And the scene stopped. Everyone's like, that's offensive. I was like, am I the problematic member of this troupe?
I had not heard that term ever before.
That's
So
a drink I'd had plenty in my early 20s. Apparently not allowed to say that anymore. I understand why. I'm not dumb. I don't know. Anyways.
yeah,
Did you
anyways,
find the movies?
yes, instead of only 2 movies to choose between in 2006, when An Inconvenient Sequel,
That's
Truth
it.
to Power came out,
I
at
see
the
what
end of
happened.
July 2017, there were 6 movies that came out this
Thrilling.
weekend. Okay. Of course, An Inconvenient Sequel, Truth to Power. Atomic Blonde,
Mm, never saw.
The Emoji Movie,
Never saw.
Detroit,
Never saw.
Brigsby Bear,
Never saw.
and something called Menashe.
Menage.
So there you go.
All right. Never saw any of those movies. That's a 2017 big dead zone for me watching stuff.
I have seen half of those movies.
I remember,
and an inconvenient sequel was not one of them.
I remember Detroit being a top one of your lists.
I did like that film.
Mm-hmm.
Tough one to say you liked, given the subject matter, but
I liked it.
I thought it was a well-made feature film.
The other side of the environment I want to talk about, where we do feel like, oh, we're endlessly fucked, and we're going to keep being fucked.
Yeah.
And then we're going to die. Technology, technology
The
was different in the year 2000. We were afraid that the computers couldn't handle it.
Right.
And we'd all lose all of our money and the banks would collapse and our computers would explode. And anyone that's younger than our general generation, if you think that's like a joke, it's like, no, genuinely, like, that was a scary time. It was a weird moment of, like, we all joked about it at the time, but also, like, that New Year's Eve, it's like, all right, is this gonna be crazy? And then nothing happened. And then a year later, something happened, and life was terrible forever after that. Anyways, catching you up to the early 2000s. Technology was different then. The internet was very new, and there was just only so much you could do about it. If you were getting a digital camera and popping an SD card in there, it would genuinely be like 256 megabytes or somewhere in kilobytes. Like, we didn't need all this space. But now everyone has the internet and everyone uses it to store everything in the cloud. Then NFTs became a thing. And those apparently take up a lot of fucking space in the servers. And then the fucking Bitcoin mining and shit like that has their own servers. And you hear, like, this is the greatest, like, fuck up to the environment that's ever happened, is these giant fucking server farms and the amount of energy that they consume. And it's like, I don't use the cloud. I'm a fool for that, but I don't. I currently host one website, and that's HowDoWeHuman.com. And we're not taking up too much space. So I feel like, again, it's a thing of like, I don't feel like I'm doing too much in that. I don't have Ethereum or Dogecoin. I'm not mining. I'm not storing bunches of things in the cloud. Well, I am storing some things on Google Drive. And at work, a lot of things. So, okay, maybe my footprint's a little bigger than I realized. But it's like, again, that eco-anxiety, no one's going to do anything about it.
Right.
It's going to get worse every day. And they're just going to need more and more servers. It's weird that the cloud is, we're sold it as it's the cloud. It's, oh, you don't have to worry about the space. But it's like, you have to worry about that space more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's it is kind of a bizarre situation where we keep coming back around to, like, we try to do our part, but the wealthy elites and the big corporations are going to offset and dwarf our contributions by insane amounts.
Yeah.
I don't understand how, like, it's been explained to me and I just don't get it, how NFTs and crypto are, like, bad for the environment. I just
confusing as
hate both
hell.
of those things, so it's like another good reason to not like them. So that's all I really need to know. But
Yeah, it literally is just that. It's like energy. They take up a lot of fucking energy in these server farms. So
yeah,
they need more servers. It's a real hard to grasp concept that I don't even totally get. But I believe it. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I shouldn't believe everything. Maybe science is fake. I don't know. Maybe the earth is flat. Who said that?
they're we keep talking though about how like we all try to do our part, but
Yeah.
I went last night to a Dodger game,
Oh,
and you know Dodgers win.
happens.
Got to see a grand slam home
Oof.
run.
Oof.
Pretty exciting stuff. It's time to leave, and everybody's clearing out of their seats. And I grab our little tray that had our soft pretzels and our Dodger dogs, and I'm like, time to throw this away. And then I have to step over every single other person in that row's like heap of garbage.
Yeah.
So like maybe we're not all doing our part.
That's
Maybe we all just kind of maybe collectively as a society, enough people have that mindset of like, somebody else will pick up my slack also.
yes.
No, the rope is too slack, my friends.
Yeah. We're working with a noodle here. That noodle's got to
Yeah.
break. No, it's the same in movie theaters. This is like anytime if you're given the like forewarning, don't worry, someone else cleans up. And it's like I'm just sitting, I got a bunch of trash, and I can look over my shoulder. There's a trash can. The type of person that's like, oh, good. Just throws it all
Yes.
over the floor. When you're leaving a movie or you're leaving a baseball game, or especially baseball games, it's peanut shells. You're supposed to spitting out sunflower seeds. What the fuck are you
Yes.
doing, you
Dude,
disgusting monster?
I had to step over so many spit out sunflower seeds. And of course, it's from one of those guys who thinks that he's on the Dodgers management
Yes.
team, way out in the center field pavilion. He thinks
Take
his
him
coaching's
out!
gonna reach him. Get him! Get him!
What's that?
What's that?
What's this?
Should I throw the ball to first base so that we get that player out?
But it's anytime, what I'm trying to say is anytime you leave that, and I think it's the same thing you're trying to say, it's just like, even if I am that type of person, I'm the type of person that's just like, of course I'm gonna throw it away. If I'm at Wendy's, I've got a tray, yeah, I'm gonna throw it away. I know someone else would do it if I don't, but I'm
I
just
mean,
gonna
don't throw
do
the
it.
plastic tray away.
Well,
Save those
I
for
throw
later.
every plastic tray away.
The ones that are all stacked up in front
I
of
pick
the trash
the
cans. You're like,
stack up.
don't worry, guys, I got it.
I take them outside. I light them on fire. I go, don't worry, they melt. Let me get this started with some hairspray.
And then when it's all burned down, I take it to the beach and I just throw it in the ocean.
Now that's how I fish. They just rise to the surface. I actually did want to talk a little bit about fishing. But
Right.
to finish that thought, to finish that thought, when you leave, especially a game or a movie, because there's an end point. It's over now. Everyone leaves, and you can just see the percentage, and it's genuinely like 80% are just like, yeah, I'm gonna leave my trash. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And
It's
again,
somebody's job to come clean this up.
even if no one did clean it up, and this was outside. I mean, baseball games are outside, but like,
Yeah.
this comes in at like the bottom of what we can do to help the environment. But it's like, just don't be a disgusting fucker. Have some
Right.
self-respect and some respect for the people around you. I don't know. Endlessly bewildered at the people who hate their job and hate the way they're treated at their job, and then go out in public and they're like, "Hey, fuck this guy."
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that guy and his job. It's his turn to be miserable.
Yeah.
We all gotta be sad, or it ain't Earth. That's a good name for a show. We all gotta be sad, or it ain't
we all
Earth.
gotta be sad.
My
or
one-man
it
show.
ain't Earth. Yep.
But fishing has come up as a topic recently. I fished as a kid. Not constantly. I told the story about getting my thumb stuck in an oarlock with my grandpa. But I always kind of enjoyed it, but never liked the idea of killing fish. And I'm now in this spot where when you were up here, we popped by. It was closed for some weird event, but we popped by a lake nearby where I live, maybe 15 minutes away. So Jocelyn and I had been talking, like, we eat a lot of seafood. Maybe we should start fishing. You enjoy it? I enjoy it. We could catch our own fish, clean it, cook it, etc. Now, I generally just have a problem killing animals. I don't like doing it. Christy gnome. That's normal. but I have always, like, I understand hunting, I understand fishing, and I think
I'm gonna put out an autobiography that's just like all the animals I didn't kill. And see where it gets me on the bestseller charts.
Listen, I hated this turtle. I didn't kill it. I hated this cat. Didn't kill it, though. I loved all these animals. I didn't kill them either. Yeah, but I understand hunting.
Turns out not that hard.
A lot of my family are hunters and fishers, and I get if you're a responsible, ethical hunter, that's good. So I'm like, let me be a part of the ecosystem itself. My hippy dippy way of getting into fishing. I'll become one with the earth and kill a thing. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to kill fish. But the lake, and of course you realize, like, it's a lake. Of course it is. It's not naturally full of fish. Mm-hmm. There's a trout hatchery, and when they're a certain age, they bring all the trout over and they stock the lake specifically for fishing. And I don't know how to feel about that. Does that make me feel better or worse? These fish were exclusively, like, scientifically raised to be fished, to be food. They never had a chance. If I don't catch them, someone else is going to catch them.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. I don't know. This is my greatest ecological conundrum right now, where I'm like, if it's a man-made lake full of man-made fish, and I'm a man,
right,
and I'm hungry, is that good? I don't know. I can't come to a genuine answer. Is that good? I know a lot of people will just say, like, yeah, fucking go catch some fish, you idiots. I don't know. It's a moral thing for me for some reason. How do you feel? I think kill a fish.
I wouldn't want to, only in the sense of, like, man, it feels like it'd be a lot of work to, like, prepare it and then eat it.
Yeah.
When I could, like, go to the store or a restaurant and get, like, a restaurant, I guess, would be better in terms of, especially a restaurant near that lake. I would assume that they fish those trout, or the, some of the trout get brought over to the restaurant also and just get professionally cleaned and stuff there. But or I could go to the store and get some definitely unethically killed fish, but then I can just eat it.
That's on the ethical side, not to interrupt, but, like, on the ethical side, that's what I was looking into. Like, what's the best way to kill fish? And the answer is either bonking them on the head until they're dead, or the most ethical one, a Japanese method called ikejime, which involves you taking a spike and just stabbing it through the fish's brain. I'm like, God
Oh.
damn, that's violent. And then you bleed it out. You cut it along the gills and along the tail. You bleed it out, and you take a little thing and you shove it up its spine, and it'll flop around even though it's dead because you're tricking it into being alive. Like, this is a horror movie.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is those, like people that longshoremen and people that do big commercial fishing, it's like, no, they just let them suffocate to death. Am I supposed to care? I do. Is that over the top? That I care?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it is tough to get past that hurdle of like wanting to be part of the ecosystem, but also not wanting to like kill anybody.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird when you get down to it. We're animals.
Yeah.
And, that was another thing I'm reading is like, well, when it comes to fish, if you're fishing like a river or the ocean, it's like, if you don't catch it, 9 times out of 10, this thing's going to get ripped to shreds by a larger fish. So,
Sure.
they don't have a glamorous life. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. I just don't know. Tell me what to do, listeners. Unless you have something to add, I'm gonna wrap this up because I haven't in a while. You keep wrapping it up, and I'm like, man, I missed it.
The other, going all the way back here to Earth Day.
Yes.
Do you wear green on Earth Day?
I never have. I don't think. Not on purpose. Here's the other thing in my family is Earth Day is my sister's birthday. So that always takes precedence.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the Earth.
Yeah.
It's my sister's day. We'll talk about the Earth another day, okay? Happy birthday. But no, you.
No. I did, however, this, we've already talked about me being at this Dodger game, and there's another story that's unrelated to Earth Day that's that I just want to share because it happened yesterday, and my wife and I were both like, yeah, this is going on the podcast.
They did it to themselves.
It was with a group of her coworkers. There's this big, like, 30-person group that went to the Dodger game.
All right.
And because it was like a group rate, I would assume like through Groupon or something, but for just an extra $2 more, you get the giveaway that they're doing at the stadium that night. And so we were like, of course.
Got it.
And so what we got last night at Dodger Stadium, and hey, if anybody wants to do the research on when we're recording this, this is a pretty good giveaway.
Yeah.
Because last night at Dodger Stadium was Mexican Heritage Night.
Okay.
And so the giveaway was a Dodger jersey that is all green on the body and then red on the sleeves, with little like white accent marks. The color of the Mexican flag.
Mm-hmm.
And it says Los Dodgers on the front of it. And then like within the green body, there's like, different Mexican like design to it. And becomes kind of clear that like maybe I shouldn't wear the Mexican heritage jersey. But I still want to have one.
Yeah.
They only come in 2 sizes, Evan. Medium and extra large.
Okay.
My wife goes through the gates first.
I
They're
happen to
like,
be
"What
between
size?"
there.
She says medium. And then I come through. He's like, "What size?" And I say medium also.
Mhm.
And he hands me extra large and we keep going. So, I mean, I haven't tried it on.
Gotcha.
Maybe he was right and was like, "No, no, no. Medium here is different than what you think." But it was like nothing that I said sounds like extra large, right?
No.
Medium also feels like it would be hard to
Medium
construe as extra large.
also. Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah. But
It's very funny.
I mean, we definitely both realized immediately that he handed me extra large, but decided to just keep on going. Maybe he knows best,
Maybe.
or maybe I deserve this extra large jersey.
Were
Maybe
you
it'll be
wearing
a little
a Hawaiian
dress.
shirt to Dodger Stadium?
I wore a Dodger shirt. I
Oh.
wore this because little flowers on it for the environment.
Hey. And I wore this because it's blue like the sky.
Yeah.
Listen. Are we
We
wrapping
didn't
up?
even
I'm
I
really
guess
trying to get
I
on
guess we
this.
got to wrap up here.
We can keep
We didn't
talking.
even talk about the hole in the ozone layer.
Hey.
I remember that being another huge story in our youth, and then haven't really heard much about it
I
ever
feel like, and
since.
I could fact check this because this is a wild claim I'm going to make. And I've made wild claims before. I feel like I heard that hole got fixed. Let's see if I'm full of shit.
Okay.
Ozone holes still form regularly. Long story short, no.
Okay.
Kinda. It sounds like they're still forming all over the place. Shit we've done has helped. But
Okay. Well, then
no.
there you go. There is a little tiny bit of optimism that we are doing just under the bare minimum to keep our planet alive.
That's right.
Well, a big pat on the back. Let's all set off some fireworks and take some long distance flights
Let's
to
do it.
celebrate
Let's all have one
all
more
our hard
kid.
work. Yeah.
And raise them to leave their trash at baseball games. You are just wrapping up listening to How Do We Human. I hope you know that. And if you just started listening to this blindly, I'm glad you stayed
Yeah.
with us.
We're not wrapping up the episode, but you're finished. You're starting
You're
to wrap
done.
up listening.
Yeah, I guess we never tease. There's more. We're in
It's
the
true.
middle of a quiz battle, and we're gonna get to it as soon as we finish up these plugs. So stick around. You can fast forward if you want, but just remember to leave us a review. Okay, so you can listen to us anywhere you get your podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Amazon Music, baby. I forgot what it was called and turned into an old Italian man. You can listen to us on any of these Pocket Casts, Podbean, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts. We're there, baby. You can leave us a review. We would love that. Ratings, whatever any platform you listen to lets you do, it helps us, and we need help. Clearly. Whoa. You can also reach out to us on social. You can stop it there. You reach out on social, baby. We're on the Instagram at HowDoWeHuman.
We got that handle.
We're on Facebook, also at HowDoWeHuman.
We got that handle.
Hey, there he is. You can watch this podcast on YouTube. We've got full episodes. We got clips up on our YouTube channel, and that is at HowDoWeHuman.
Ooh, we got the handle.
And you can give us a call. Give us a call. Leave us a message. We'll play it on the show or not if you ask us not to. But we want to hear from you. And that number is 323-657-9896.
Oh, that's a spicy phone number. That's I see the way that you
I
do phone numbers.
overemphasized.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that.
Let me give it a good.
9896.
Let's give it a good VO reading. 323-657-9896. How's that?
That was good.
Click that
Feels
on.
very similar to the way that I do it, but,
Yeah, you'd think.
so I don't quite understand the confusion. But
The thing is, when we talk about that, I'm not, because similar to you, I'm thinking, what's the next thing I'm going to say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? So I don't know. Maybe you are saying it, but I'm hearing it as if there are more numbers to come. That's all I
okay,
know.
all right, okay,
That's all I
all right.
know. Did I forget something? Yes.
It's time for emails.
Did I not? Oh, I just did that on my own. I just went to check our email and didn't say it. If you're not into vocalizing these thoughts, you're more literate. You're smart. Leave us a lengthy, intelligent email. Ask us questions. Give us ideas for episodes. You can leave that at HowDoWeHumanPod@gmail.com.
For NPR, the best part of that handle is that it's an email address.
Now that's a spicy meatball. And go to HowDoWeHuman.com. You can find most of that shit there. All that information. We got the videos, the episodes up there, and you can leave us questions and shit.
All right, it's time for our trivia battle to continue. We are still 5 points apart. Chris with 41 points.
Who's Chris
Evan with 36. Last week we did a really bad job. It was a really embarrassing trivia battle that we had last
solid
time.
showing. I think the previous one we both did pretty well. Okay.
And as always, it is important to remember that if I get everything wrong and Evan gets everything right,
yes,
the game becomes tied.
The game is over. Evan gets 100 points.
All right, question number 1. What car company makes the Econoline van? I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly.
You did,
but
okay.
That sounds like you know what this van is.
I know what it is.
I do not.
I'm not 100% positive.
But our options are Chevrolet, Volkswagen, Honda, or Ford.
I am like 60% one, 40 the other, but I'm pretty sure. Maybe more than that. I think I know. So I'll let you guess
between.
First.
I'm also between two of them.
Okay.
And maybe we're between the same two. I'm between Ford and Volkswagen.
Okay.
And I'm going to go. When I first read the question, I was more towards Volkswagen, but really overthinking it, which has never worked for us, makes me think Ford, and so Ford is my answer.
You're such a monster. You never give me these. Ford is my answer too.
You told me you were gonna let me answer first.
I know, and I always hope.
That's what I did.
I always hope that you'll just go, it's a Honda.
Honda was the only one I completely ruled out.
I was between Ford and Chevy, but yeah.
Okay,
all
Ford
right. We're both
correct.
Right.
We do both get a point there.
Boring. How long did it take Sir Francis Drake to sail around the world in 1580? 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 12 years. Sail around the world would take a minute.
Yeah, it would. I'm trying to remember.
I don't think it's a thing I know. It is
wild. I'm trying to see if I can remember, because didn't Magellan go first?
Who could say? Magellan, I believe, is a fictional wizard. So I think he probably went faster.
Oh, okay. But of course, Drake,
Mm,
Sir Francis Drake,
yes.
drakes are also like ducks.
True.
So wouldn't he go fast in water?
You want to
I'm
fight a
gonna.
wizard versus a duck? Because I know who I'm picking. If that was the question, I'd be confident. There's also not enough effort. Like, what is this just straight sailing? Did he take his time stopping over, checking out thrift
Yeah.
shops, listening to
Um.
Macklemore?
Yeah, I would love. I'd love it. Like a Sir Francis Drake cover of Thrift Shop.
Yeah, man.
Um. I There's only one that I've like ruled out thus far, Evan.
I'm putting it between two, but I'm not. I'm not remotely confident in this one.
No, me neither.
Um,
I think I've also kind of put it between two, but I don't. There's a the third one that I'm starting to rule out just sticks out so much to me
yeah, I'm gonna say
that
3 years.
oh, damn it, Evan. I'm also saying 3 years. Oh, we're both
Hey,
right. Hey,
well,
we both get it
at
at
least we're
least.
smart.
Yeah. All right. On what day does Canada celebrate its birthday? Not its Earth Day,
Mm,
but its
don't
birthday.
get it twisted.
July 1st, July 14th, May 24th, or June 1st.
Listen, there's no way anybody knows this. um, God, I hate all these. I'm going July 1st.
Okay, I'm going July 14th.
Yeah,
Evan, correct.
I got
Evan,
one.
3 for 3 so far.
All right, more geography. It's bad when I can't even remember the word of the subject. What is the only landlocked country in Southeast Asia? Vietnam, Burma, Cambodia, or Laos?
Um, it's a great
This is a
question.
good question. I I have a mildly educated. I have a poorly educated guess. I have an Elma Education's guess.
I also have a poorly educated guess. And for this reason, sharks, I'm answering Cambodia.
Oh, interesting. I'm going Burma, baby.
Okay. It was Laos.
Damn it.
Neither one of us get it. Um, Last question, Evan. How old was Marilyn Monroe when she died? 42, 36, 39, 27.
Is Marilyn Monroe part of the 27 Club?
Is that like a famous age for people to die?
Yeah, Kurt Cobain, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, just like everyone from that era died when they were 27. I don't know if she's in there. I don't. I'm going to vote against it. I am going to say she was 36.
Okay, I'm going to say 39.
We picked
So
the
let's see,
same
Evan.
as the last one. I
Yeah.
picked B both times. You picked C.
And now we find out, do you gain uh 1 point on me? 2 points
2
on me?
points would be
Or,
great.
depending on how this goes, 0 points
Or
on
nothing.
me. Oh, you gained 2.
That is thrilling. I'm making moves.
Wow. That was another solid showing from Evan.
4 out of 5?
Yes.
Laos. Ugh. I'll never forget.
Which now takes the score. Things are getting a
Saucy.
little spicy here.
Oh.
The score now is Chris with 43 points and Evan with 40 points.
Yeah. Ah, this is great.
So now, everybody got to stay tuned for these future battles as we fight our way to a 100-point total.
This is big.
This is big. This is bigger than the hole in the ozone.
Yeah. The okay, bye zone.
Okay, bye zone.